For today's video, we've got something slightly different. We are going to do a drill to drill kind of walkthrough of how we would coach body shape when defending with our players. So to start off, this first exercise is just heavily focused on quick feet and moving laterally, which is side to side. We will use this with players when they first come in with us, just to again highlight obviously the importance of being able to move your feet quickly side to side, and then we then use this to incorporate kind of different elements such as hip rotations, etc. This next drill is then a progression on lateral movement where we were working on a hip rotation. So as the player comes through the single ladder, they will then work on rotating their hips into a side on position, which is obviously going to be optimal when defending 1v1. And then they will work on a quick sharp feet out of the cone and then back in. Again, it's so important that the third step, as they step out of the ladder, so when they do their 1-2 steps in the ladder, the third step has to be slightly at an angle so that they can quickly with their fourth step change the position of their hips and be side onto the cone.
Go. Brilliant. Go. Go. And relax.
Next, in this progression, we literally add a football to it. The idea is, again, to test the player by adding in a different element to the drill. So by bringing the football in, we're trying to challenge them to keep their focus on their feet, being correct in terms of being efficient with their steps, opening and changing their hip position, and then obviously checking to the cone.
Grab a drink.
So this drill is a progression onto a more game specific scenario. So what we're working on here is pressing a ball that's in front of us to our right or our left. The player will work off a call to press right or left, and then as they arrive at that pole where the football is, they'll be given a call whether to show the player down the line, so they have to adjust their hips to do that, or show the player inside. We're just going to address some key factors that we like to coach in defenders when they are defending 1v1 in relation to their body shape. Firstly, it's got to be side on. This is important for many reasons. One reason might be that if the ball does get pushed past you by the attacker, you're already in a good body shape to then turn and recover after the ball. If you're square, so by that I mean your hips are just facing straight at your opponent, when the ball gets pushed past you, you've got to take a bigger step to then open your body to then recover and chase after the ball. So being side on is so important. We want to have soft knees or slightly bent knees. Again, this is just so you're in a bit more of a kind of ready position, ready body shape. And lastly, we want to touch on that leading arm. So you'll see in this clip when Della presses the ball, if her right leg or right foot is her front foot, she will then have her right arm out so that she again can make contact with the opposition player, and it's a good guideline for knowing your distance in terms of how close you should be to the attacker when they have the ball. If your left foot is your front foot, then your left arm needs to be out, and if your right foot is your front foot, your right arm needs to be out. These are just some key guidelines. Again, every scenario is different when defending 1v1, but these three sort of, again, factors or guidelines we give to every player are going to be applicable to most scenarios.
I'll leave this decision a little bit later now. Right. Show them down the line. Good adjustment and relax.
So this coaching point here on screen is just highlighting to the player the importance of being able to shift their feet and change their hip position. It is vital though that the player does not cross their feet when doing this, because this will cause them to turn their back on the ball, so turn their back on the player who they're defending 1v1. And a lot of times when this happens, attackers take advantage of it and will then breeze by the defender. So it's so important to keep changing our hip position so that hips are always facing the ball, so we can always have the ball in front of us.
So important, everything's got to stay in front of you. And then
finally, we just again add the football to add a little bit more complexity to the exercise, and again we can get a bit more technical work in where there's a bounce pass, a drop, a touch across, and then a forward pass again. So there's a lot of elements being worked on here, again highlighting the basics of getting out, pressing, correct body shape, and different elements like that. If you would like to see more content like this where we do sort of voiced over drills explaining the rationale behind why we use these drills with our players and what we're looking to work on with the player, please let us know. Any feedback is always greatly appreciated.
show inside. Good adjustment. Drop. Bang. Bounce. Good. Touch. Great touch. Extra one. Play. Grab a drink. Well done.